This story was sent to me about the dangers of using Ouija boards, and it goes as follows. I'm going to call the person Pete. Pete says, "It was the summer of 1996, or better referred to as the summer of hell. I can't help but to blame myself. After all, I've watched plenty of horror movies to know all the basic rules, but even then I ignored the most important one. I was young and curious, so attracted to anything horror. I played with a spirit board by myself, and if that wasn't enough, I had chanted spells that I found in a spellbook written in another language. Frustrated at what I thought was a complete fail since nothing had happened, I continued on with this dangerous combination. A few days had passed and things began to change. I started hearing strange sounds. For each night that went by, the evil entity became more aggressive. Some call it sleep paralysis, but I know it was an evil force holding me captive. I can hear the growling in my ear and the voices as it whispers to me, calling out my name. I was terrified. I fought so hard to have just enough courage to open my eyes, and then fear would strike again, when I would witness with my own eyes a hooded shadow figure by my bed, and shadow figures darting in and out of the wall whilst calling my name. It was getting worse. I can now feel it touching me. It actually touched my foot. It wouldn't let me sleep, and if it was as if I was getting stronger, I was so scared. And knowing it was my fault, I didn't want to tell anyone, especially my father. All my family had warned me about tampering with spirit boards. I no longer felt safe in my own home, and every chance I got, I tried to go somewhere, hoping that this thing wouldn't follow me. I distinctly remember several occasions where the evil had followed me. My aunt had asked me to babysit with her and her family during the week, to babysit my little cousin while she worked. I had fallen asleep, but something had disturbed my sleep. I opened my eyes to the light above me, flickering on and off. I immediately left the bedroom and fell asleep on the couch for the rest of the night. Another night I had experienced the exact same thing, but this time I left the room. I heard whispering coming from my cousin's bedroom, which was located right next to the living room. Confused and terrified, I started to wonder if it was my cousin that I'd been babysitting, only to find out that he was sleeping with his parents in the next room the entire night. I knew I had to dispose of the board, and when I did, I heard a voice later that night say, "I will come back." Eventually, we moved and I began to feel safe again. The activity still happens from time to time. I realised later that this thing wasn't part of the house. I had summoned it, and it was attached to me. I thought I was losing my mind until one day my older cousin had visited. She also is a believer who had had her own personal experiences. We were exchanging stories of strange events, and she distinctly said she heard heavy breathing coming from upstairs. We both looked at each other and noticed that my dog turned towards the direction of the stairs, because she had heard it too. She had lived there prior to me and stated that she's never heard anything during the time of her residency there. Thank you for sending in this story, Pete. Hopefully it will act as a warning to listeners who are thinking of trying to contact the spirit world using a spirit board. And I appreciate you writing to me. Thank you.